Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. All he wanna say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. All he wanna say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let I be me instead of playing games. For chasing fame, let somebody sweat the lack of flames. No, living my life to the fullest and shout out my halala to the fullest. Let my lungs out. I'm still rising up to greater heights as long as
Hello, bonjour, and bonani. Welcome to Rise to Greater Heights Network, where you can turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. It is so significant to have a positive mindset, more especially under these circumstances. So this network has the potential to completely revolutionize every aspect of your life and career. My name is Dr. Riel Ngunene, and I'm going to be your host for today. So if you're watching us online, please feel free to put in the chat box where you're watching us from and what you hope to achieve from our podcast. So today we are surrounded by greatness in the World Wide Web. We have an amazing speaker who's going to share some nuggets on mental health. Mental health. So in Florida, we have Cynthia Mendez Tamayo. So at this moment, I'll just let Cynthia to introduce herself. You can go ahead, Cynthia.
Good morning, Dr. Riel. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm happy to be here with you discussing this topic that's very dear to my heart and that I've really been working hard on spreading awareness about. So a little bit about me. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist in Florida. And as a licensed marriage and family therapist, the way that I view my work is through a systems perspective. So looking at how the individual impacts the system and how the system is impacted by the individual. And the most fundamental system that we all experience is family. And I truly believe that if we are able to create a family dynamic that serves the whole, that we are able to then impact other systems, create a ripple effect to create systems that are really benefiting everybody in the system, and everybody feels supported and is able to thrive.
Oh wow! It's such a great honor to have you, Cynthia, and really I can see that you are really impacting many lives out there. We are honored to have you on this platform.
Thank you.
You can go. Nathan is okay. I believe Nathan is going to come back. Okay, he's back. You can go ahead, Nathan. We have Nathan in Mexico who's going to introduce himself too. You can go ahead, Nathan. Unmute yourself.
I see that.
Yeah,
sorry, what do you want me to say here?
Feel free to introduce yourself, please.
Well, yeah, my name is Nathan Siegel. I'm coming to you from Mexico. Primarily what I've been doing for many years is working as a writer, writing articles for magazines and so on. Recently, due to a change in my life, I wound up deciding to become a speaker and a coach to do with helping people recover from narcissistic abuse, specifically those people who are in the process of leaving a narcissistic relationship or who have left it. If you look at what many of the coaches online say, they say in order to recover, first thing you need to do is get away from the narcissist. Second thing is to go no contact. Now, I agree with them to a point, except for one thing. If you don't dissolve the trauma bond between you and the narcissist, it puts you in a vulnerable spot. If the narcissist doesn't play by the rules, they try to talk to you even after no contact, you could wind up caving into what they're doing and you might go back, in which case the process starts all over again. With what I do is I interrupt that process. So after the person leaves the narcissist, the first step is to dissolve the trauma bond. Second, because once the trauma bond is gone, the narcissist won't be able to manipulate you. And then when you go no contact, if they try to get you to come back, it's very unlikely that they will succeed. So that's the purpose of what I'm doing. I have a YouTube channel for what I've been doing. I have one video on there that's probably sitting at about 46,000 views in about 6 weeks or so, and had a lot of commenting and traffic, and that's it.
Wow, wow. It's such an honor to have you, Nathan, and for you like to share your knowledge around narcissism, and for the fact that you are really, really impacting lives with whatsoever you are doing. We are honored, and thank you for saying yes.
Welcome.
So Nathan, I have a question for you. I have a question for you. If you happen to have your own billboard, I really don't know where your billboard is gonna be. Is it gonna be in Mexico? Is it gonna be in Canada? What will your billboard say? Yeah.
I don't know. It's something I've never even thought about, but well, I mean, if I were to title it anything, and it would get a lot of attention if I did it, because that's the title of my video that's done very well. It's called The Number One Narcissistic Lie. And if I put that on a board, and there would be a lot of people going, what in the world is that? And very simply what it is, having been around narcissists for most of my life, unfortunately, mostly family, the number one narcissistic lie is where they sell you on the idea that if you can somehow do something that will fix the narcissist or whatever, if you can find that one thing, then you will have the kind and loving, harmonious relationship that you want. There's only one problem. It's fraud. A narcissist, like I was working with a coach at one point to do with my family, and she was telling me for 2 years my family was broken, but I didn't believe her because I had the belief that I could fix them. If I could fix this one thing. And then, long story short, I went through a whole bunch of processes, but she gave me an exercise to write a timeline of the abuse. And I did that. And when I read what I wrote, I came out of my denial to do with the family, and I realized that what she was saying was true. And in fact, the family was broken. The narcissist, you're dealing with a permanent condition. It cannot be fixed. And if you fall for that lie, then you will spend months, years, or decades of your life trying to fix something that can't be fixed. And so when you realize, as I did, that I'd been lied to by my own family, I wrote to my coach and I asked for help to write a letter to my family, which I did, and I went permanent no contact. And it's been 12 years later, and with the exception of a problem I had with my family where they hoovered me back into a fight, the hoovering happened in 2013. It lasted till 2018, and then I went no contact again, and that's been the end of it. But the narcissistic lie is the belief that if the narcissist sells you on the idea that you can fix them if blah, 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 or I'm going to counseling, if you fall for it, it's a lie. They can't be fixed. It will never be fixed. And the only thing to do, and in my opinion at least, is get the hell out of Dodge, break the bond with the narcissist, and then go permanent no contact and never let them in again, ever, for any reason.
Wow.
That's the only way to stop the abuse and to move on with your life.
Yeah,
So
that's the solution. Wow, wow, what a profound billboard. Like you'll have to put a stop. You'll have to put a stop in narcissism. The moment you realize it, the moment you recognize it, because what they do, they believe that the world only revolves around them. It's all about them. It's all about them. Wow. It's such an honor. It's such an honor, Nathan. I'm looking forward to hear more of your message around narcissism. Wow, wow. How about you, Cynthia? Maybe your billboard is already down there in Florida. What will it say?
So my billboard would say that the best way to impact your children and the world as a whole is to be authentically you. I truly believe that we each have a gift or something that we need to usher into the world. And I don't think that we serve anybody by either not discovering that gift or hiding it, which a lot of us are conditioned to do. And I think it's our responsibility to show up and figure out who we are authentically. And from that place, then we can impact those around us. And we can create systems around us that support who we are instead of trying to fit into all these different places and scenarios, because I do believe that there's a place for each one of us. But we're not going to find it if we haven't found ourselves yet, right? So we put a lot of effort into being who we're not, and that takes a lot of energy. So if we put that effort into discovering who we are, then all we have to do is show up and everything else kind of aligns.
Wow, wow. In a world that is just actually trying to change you, just be yourself. Just show up and be yourself. I love that billboard. Wow, wow. So I believe my billboard will be the third billboard driving down the highway, and it's gonna say what? The sky is no longer the limits. Now the sky is just our point of view. So we're all supposed to rise to greater heights. And you know what? It's definitely coming. So in the interest of time, we're gonna get started where we have Nathan. Nathan Seagal works as a writer, a ghostwriter, and a print and video editor. He has been published over 1,000 times in magazines all around the world. Nathan has 12 books to his credit, and one of those, the Coral Photo Paint Expo Insider, sold over 11,000 copies. So his purpose is to give you the necessary tools to stand out as an expert in your industry. He has many things to offer to you. So Nathan is saying that as for the rate of return, there are several ways to increase your results. And one of is to take your articles, put them together into a report, and use that for your speaking engagements as well as your workshops. That's where the real money is. And he's also saying that also joint ventures, which can be highly profitable. So kings and queens, please join me and welcome Nathan Seagal.
Thank you.
You can go ahead. The stage is yours, sir.
Sorry, what do you want me to do?
Oh, the stage is yours to share your message.
I pretty much have. I mean, I already did that before you did that introduction. There's not much more to say for me. I mean, in terms of the whole narcissism thing, the number one thing is to dissolve the trauma bond. And that's primary. And to do that, I make use of tools from neurolinguistic programming and guide the person through a number of techniques. And once the trauma bond is dissolved, then the next step is to go no contact. And I share a whole bunch of resources with the person about how to do that. Because one of the problems with narcissists is that they may not play fair. In other words, not respect the rules of no engagement. And they might contact you even after you've gotten no contact. And so if that's the case, there would be two major steps I would advise someone to do. And one of them would be to move, and the second would be to get a ghost address. So, but you would do this in a couple of stages. The first thing to do would be to get what's known as a ghost address. And a ghost address is a real address, but it's not a place where you actually live. It's just a box on the wall. And somebody would say, oh, a ghost address is a P.O. box. And I'm going, no. If it's a P.O. box, it's instantly obvious. And if you do that, you've defeated the purpose. A ghost address looks like a real address, but it's just a box on the wall. So step number one would be to get that. Step number two would be to move, and hopefully to a place where you're not able to be tracked by the narcissist. Step number two, after you've moved, is to use the ghost address and to set your driver's license and your car insurance to match the ghost address. Because if the narcissist did track you for whatever reason, they broke into your car and they got your insurance, they would be directed to the ghost address, not where you actually live. And then beyond that, doing other things like using a VPN, virtual private network online, and all these different things to protect your privacy. And it just really depends as to how far you would go. But protecting your privacy is crucial in order to heal from the manipulations of the narcissist. So that's about all I have to say at this point. There's more I could say, but that's enough.
Oh, wow, Nathan. So what are the signs that I can actually spot that, right now I'm being surrounded by a narcissist in my life? What are those signs that I can actually spot?
Well, one of the things that they will do if they target you is a thing called love bombing, where they shower you with a whole bunch of love and attention, and they do it in such a way that they con you into believing that they are the person you've been looking for. In some cases, they will go as far as to say to you that you're their soulmate. That actually happened to me. And they will do this whole thing with this extreme affection. What they do is they study you, and they essentially mirror you back to yourself. So you're falling in love with an idealized version of yourself that is being projected back to you through their eyes. And so, but once they hook you in that way, and they can't maintain this for long, then they go into a phase called devaluation, where they start finding fault with you. So instead of this ideal person, you now become a person with flaws. And so the many things that they would do, like what this one woman did to me, is she basically told me that all the problems in the relationship, no matter what it was, they were all my fault. Narcissists take no responsibility for any of their actions. They are always right and never wrong. So if you have a disagreement with them, they will get very angry. One of the things that they do is they fly into a rage, and they create all this drama with the idea that you will back down. Other things that they will do is they will start trashing you in every single aspect of your life, undermining you in every way. Let me think, what else do they do? They will try to isolate you from family and friends. Let me think, what else do they do? There were a couple of other things. I'm just not able to think of it in the moment. But these are a lot of the things that they do. They will become very abusive. What else do they do? Bullying is one of the things that they do. If you wind up in a situation with them where they don't like something that you've done, one of their standard practices, which is extremely abusive, is called stonewalling. Another name for it is the silent treatment, where they will have minimal or very little contact with you, and that's extremely abusive. It's really, I've experienced it twice. And another thing that they will do, they will take out all their anger and all their rage and all their problems on you. And in the case of this one ex-girlfriend that I had, one of the things I wrote to her, and it turns out that the language I used was common language, but I didn't know that at the time. And I said, never again will I allow you to use me as your personal punching bag, because that's what they do. And they will try to destroy you in every single way of your life. It's the most unbelievable thing. But it doesn't happen right away. It's something that gradually scales up over time. And one of the things that they're notorious for is destroying you financially. And that's what actually happened to me. And I wasn't able to get out even when I wanted to. And the reason I got out is because I had help from some family and one friend who wrote to me one night. And I didn't ask him for help. I was just talking about what was happening. And he said, I'm sending you some money. You got to get the hell out of Dodge. And he told me how much he was sending. And I said, it's not enough. I can't leave. And he said, how much do you need? I told him. He sent it to me, and I was gone the next day. And as soon as I was gone, I wrote a letter to my ex, and I let her know about what I thought about what she was doing. And then I went permanent, no contact on her. Well, no contact. I didn't have the strength to say that I never wanted to see her again. But the truth is, the only way to stop the abuse is to go no contact, and it must be permanent. You have to be have the strength of character or whatever it takes to end it permanently, because if you don't, there's a good chance they might come back. Now, in my case, that didn't happen, but you have to have the strength to stop it, because if you don't, you'll go back and forth, and that could happen for years. So anyway, that's it.
Oh, wow, wow. Thank you so much, Nathan, for sharing such
You're
a
welcome.
profound, much needed message. I know, like, I have quite a few questions. You're gonna forgive me. But I'm trying to think, because like thinking that, you know what, I'm gonna live today. It doesn't happen like the moment you think about it. It can drag maybe up to 2 years. You are still planning your escape from that kind of relationship with a narcissist. So
Sure.
what kind of advice can you maybe give to our viewers, how to stay safe while you're still planning your escape from that
Oh,
relationship? How to
well,
stay safe in that relationship?
well, keep your distance as much as you can, but there's another technique. It's called gray rock. And basically, you reduce your profile to the narcissist in the sense that you become less of a target. And so, you keep your conversation very brief, like yes, no, maybe, sure, I'll do that. Yes, I'll get to it tomorrow, something like that. And another thing that's very important, and I just realized this, is, and I found this out the hard way with my ex, is in my case, I wound up with a woman who I would refer to as a malignant narcissist. And a malignant narcissist has sadistic qualities, and they like to hurt people. And so what had happened is my ex had grilled me on a whole bunch of things to do with my past. And then she would use those things as a weapon against me in the relationship to humiliate me and put me down. And there was this one time that she was doing it, and I saw this look of sadistic glee on her face, and I felt something inside me break. And at that moment, I knew I could never trust her again with anything, and I never shared anything about my personal life with her ever again, because I knew what she would do. And so it's very important, that one piece, that you do not share that with a narcissist, because it will use it as a weapon against you. And so it's just minimizing contact, leaving the house a lot, spending a lot of time away, finding ways that you can just keep contact with them to a minimum. And that way you protect yourself from their influence. And if they're calling you on your phone, well, just ignore it, really. Of course, they'll get angry when you don't pick up, when they want to be in touch with you, but you have to do whatever you can to keep yourself safe until you get to the place where you can leave. And that's about it. And sorry, I'm not going to be able to stay much longer. I have another meeting in a few minutes.
Yes,
I didn't realize this
the
meeting
time
was at this time.
difference.
I
Yeah.
thought it was at noon my time, but you're obviously a different time zone. So
Yeah, no, I totally understand. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nathan, really, for being able to be vulnerable enough and share your story with us in a way that you are
no
trying
worries.
to help and heal the world with our very own humanity. Thank you so much for such a profound, much needed message. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I've got to go. I've got to get ready for this other meeting.
Thank you, Nathan. So now we are
Okay.
moving from Florida and from Mexico to Florida, where we have Cynthia. Let me grab your bio here. Cynthia Mendes Tamayo is a licensed marriage and family therapist with training in maternal mental health, EMDR, and human design, who provides support services for mothers as well as their families. Her mission is to support mothers as they assess and develop a dynamic that supports the entire family. The company was founded in 2020 in the middle of the pandemic. Wow, wow, wow. After observing an increase in the number of mothers experiencing distress as they navigate motherhood and their family dynamics. Amongst these families, some mothers and sometimes even fathers were experiencing severe distress, such as symptoms of postpartum depression and suicidal ideation. In response, Cynthia has since developed a coaching model and related workshops through combining her various skills and training. Cynthia believes that mothers are the portal into the family system and the best way to ensure that the entire system can thrive. So through supporting moms and families as they navigate the four pillars of her thriving families coaching model, well-being of the mother, partnership, home logistics, and parenting, she is confident that she can shift that experience for the entire system. So being a mother herself and experiencing the hardships firsthand through her clients, Cynthia is passionate about redefining outdated family dynamics and paving a path towards obtaining greater harmony that will benefit the whole. So kings and queens, please join me and welcome Cynthia Mendes Tamayo.
Thank you, Dr. Real. So a little bit about my work, and you mentioned some of it, but so yes, in 2020, in the middle of the pandemic, where all of us were thrown into the chaos of the unknown, and really, I believe that experience highlighted some of the difficulties or hardships that many of us were facing, particularly moms within the household. And I started seeing that I was having a lot of clients coming to me, particularly moms, women that were in the same season of motherhood that I'm in. And they were expressing feeling distress, feeling overwhelmed, burnt out, having suicidal ideation, which of course they weren't sharing with anybody because there's a real fear that that you'll be judged, or even worst case scenario, that your children may be removed from your home. So as I was finding that these moms were coming and sharing this, I really spent some time reflecting on what is it that could be contributing to how moms are feeling. And as I sat there and I contemplated on that concept, I realized that once the feminist movements happened and women were granted the opportunity to do things that we had not had the opportunity to do up to that point, right? Like pursue our passions, pursue our dreams, have a career. And these were all wonderful things and great opportunities for moms. But it really shifted the way that moms are showing up within the system, because prior to the feminist movements, everybody had a role, right? Mom was home and mom knew exactly whether she wanted to do it or not is a different topic, but she knew what her roles and responsibilities were. She knew that she was responsible for managing the household, for taking care of the children, for making sure that everything was in order. And then dads, again, whether they wanted it or not, were responsible for making sure that they were providing and bringing home the money and the bread. And the system was able to run smoothly because everybody knew what their responsibilities were, what their role was. And then we had the feminist movement, and women were given these opportunities, and many women entered the workforce either out of necessity or because they finally wanted to take advantage of this ability to pursue their dreams, their passions, their careers, to be independent, to feel empowered, all these beautiful things. But nothing shifted within the family system. The family system remains the same. We're still following the same paradigm that we were following when we had very clear roles and responsibilities. So what's happening is that moms are finding themselves in this place where they're doing it all, right? They're managing the household. They're trying to manage their jobs outside of the home. They're trying to do all these things, and they're trying to do them all well, and probably feeling like they're failing at them because they might not be doing them all well. And there's this term called mental load, where refers to being overwhelmed by having to keep track of all the things that need to get done. So it's not only like the physicality of actually doing the thing, it's also keeping track of what needs to be done. Like, when do my kids need to go to doctor's appointments? What, when are we running out of toilet paper and I have to run to the store and get some, right? So managing all of these different aspects. And then I also recognize that the dads, even the well-intended, well-meaning partners who really wanted to show up and help, didn't know how to, right? They don't know how to because they don't have anybody who has modeled this behavior for them before us. So we're kind of navigating this new space and everybody's fumbling, trying to figure out how to make it happen, and nobody's really succeeding. And then that also trickles down to the children, where I feel like we've been in a space for a long time where the children have been parentless to some degree, right? Because everybody's just trying to like keep their head above water and survive. And that was actually would have been my other billboard, because I talk a lot about moving into this space where we're thriving and not just surviving, right? So really being able to have that life preserver that's thrown to us so that we're no longer treading water, so that we can really do things with clarity and intention. So as I was viewing all of this, I started thinking about what are the things that I could do to help. And I realized that part of what needs to happen is that we need to create a new family system, right? And I say new in quotations because I think it's not necessarily a one size fits all type of experience. It's really sitting down with families and having them look at what their needs and desires are as individuals, and then looking at how can the system, the family unit, support the needs and desires of each individual in the system, right? So really functioning as a team and harmoniously, so that nobody kind of falls through the cracks and nobody feels unseen or unsupported, because through this support is how we're going to allow them to become authentically who they are, so that then they can contribute to the world, whatever it is that they're supposed to. So out of that came my 4 pillars, which you touched on in the bio, and it's my Thriving Families coaching model. And I have 4 pillars to that model. The first one being the well-being of the mother. So really taking a moment to sit with the mom and take inventory of what's going on, what is she experiencing, what does she want and desire. And what I realized in my work is that a lot of moms don't even know, right? Like, you ask them, who are you? I'm a mom. But what else are you? I'm a mom. And I'm like, okay, well, mom is one of your roles. It's one of the hats that you're wearing, right? It's part of who you are. It's part of your identity, but it's not your full identity, right? Because there was a you prior to being a mom, and there's still a you who is now a mom, right? So really helping them figure out like what it is that they desire for themselves, and look at how they can, like, I think once they have clarity on that, then they're able to build around that. And I think moms are the portal into the family. I think there's a lot of research that supports that if moms are thriving and moms are healthy and moms are doing well, that the system tends to do well, which means that if moms are healthy, happy, taken care of, supported, then the family system and the players within the family system tend to also be happy, thriving, all the things. The second pillar is the partnership. So looking at the relationship or the 2 adults that are running the household, right? And that doesn't matter whether it's a mom and a dad, or a mom and a mom, dad and a dad, but really looking at the people who are at the forefront of the family and looking at what their connection is and what that foundation is, making sure that they are wanting to serve their family from the same set of values. And if the value system's different, how do we get to a place where we can find that gray area that we both feel comfortable and good with? Are they engaging in strong communication? Are they supporting one another? Do they know what the other person desires and wants? And are they figuring out how they can help support that person? So really becoming clear on the relationship and setting that foundation. From there, we move to the 3rd pillar, which is home logistics. And this one goes hand in hand with the partnership, because I think once you have these other 2 pillars set, then you want to start talking about, okay, we know what mom wants, we know what the partnership wants, right? What mom and dad want. Now let's look at how do we create a logistical plan that supports that. So it's kind of like this concept of running the family like a business, like who's doing what, who's managing what are the responsibilities, what are the things we can let go of? Because I think sometimes we bring on all these responsibilities as a family that maybe they're not important to us. Maybe we do it because everybody else, we feel like everybody else is doing it, but it's not something that we really value. So letting go of the things that we don't need as a family system, and then resourcing help if we need to, right? If there's an area that neither one of us wants to do, can we bring in people from the outside to support us, or resources from the outside to support us in this space? And then the last pillar is parenting. So I think that if the first three pillars are strong, then the parenting part becomes easy, because now all we have to focus on is parenting the child that we have. So I've taught a lot of parenting courses. I've participated in a lot of parenting courses as a clinician. And I realized that a lot of the parenting courses, although they all have wonderful takeaways, they are very much a one size fits all. So if it doesn't fit into your family, it leaves you feeling like you're a failure as a parent, or that you have a damaged or broken child, right? Which is not a good feeling in either direction. And a lot of times it's that the skill or the tool or the technique that you're using is mismatched to the human that's standing in front of you, right? Your child. I have two children. I have a 6-year-old daughter and I have a 9-year-old son, and they are completely different human beings. They show up differently. They have different needs. They have different behaviors. They have different strengths and weaknesses. And I really have to be mindful of who they are as a person. And then it can go back to all the information that I have, or the parenting courses that I've had, and like kind of like pull and piece together a plan or a way of working for each one. And it takes a lot of trial and error, right? So also having a lot of grace and patience around the process of parenting. And I think that once we take those 4 pillars together, we create a whole that is going to function and be supportive of everybody in it.
Thank you so much, Cynthia, for sharing such a profound, much needed message. And you just dive deeper by describing the areas that can be looked at more closely and shifted to kind of create that dynamic that better supports and serves our families. And it's so funny, like when you are just sharing your experience from your kids, like they are totally different. I also have a son and a daughter, so like I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. Thank you so much for for sharing your wisdom, for pouring yourself out, like sharing with the world around the mental health of the family family wellness. Thank you so much, Cynthia. So how can our audience reach out to you?
So I have, I want to share in regards to the first pillar, I have developed a workshop called Rise into Motherhood, and I will be launching this workshop in January. And it will be a 4-month container where I'll be taking in 10 moms and working with them. And this is from the first pillar, the well-being of mom, and Rise into Motherhood is the name of the program. And in this program, I will be working with a group of moms in creating this transition from maiden to motherhood, even if they've been a mom for a while, right? Like intentionally transitioning into this space where they can explore all the things that I mentioned before, right? Like, who am I? Who do I want to be? What are the parts of my identity that I can release from before? What are the parts of my identity from before being a mom that I want to retain now that I'm a mom? And I will take them through the process of identifying support system, figuring out what their needs are, figuring out how to communicate with their partner what their needs are. How do they want to parent? What kind of parents do they want to show up as? We'll be doing inner child work. We'll be using EFT. We'll be using human design to help them tap into self-care. We will be using meditation techniques, visualization. So there'll be a lot of techniques that I will be combining, a lot of my skills as a clinician that I will be combining into this program to support them so that then they can move through the other pillars moving forward. Right now, actually yesterday, I posted on my social media, I'm doing a giveaway for a spot in my program, and the giveaway will be open. It's a raffle and it'll be open until Friday of next week. I'll be announcing the winner. So if people go onto my Instagram, which is at cynthia.soulalignedwellness, they can, the instructions are on there into how to enter into the raffle. And they can also visit my website at Soul Aligned Wellness, and it's Soul, SOUL, alignedwellness.org. And on there, they can also find, I have a freebie on there, which is called Self-Care by Design, which will show them what types of self-care they should be investing in according to their energy type, their human design blueprint, their energy type according to human design. And this will help them identify self-care techniques that are more beneficial to them instead of trying to do all the things, which sometimes self-care can end up being more work and less restorative when we feel like we have to do it all, or when we're doing the wrong things, right? The things that are not really restorative to us. So if they go onto my website and they can register to get an email with the free resource, and I also have the information for Rise in there. They can join the list for that if they want more information regarding the Rise into Motherhood program. And they can also, like I mentioned, the giveaway. And then I have all of my services on there. I have other services. We have EMDR, which we're not going to talk about today in depth, but they can go onto my website and figure out what that is, because a lot of people don't know what it is. It's a type of trauma therapy that I've had wonderful results with my clients with. So they can go on there and they can find all the information.
Wow. I believe our audience will definitely reach out to you because they need this. Thank you so much. Cynthia.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yes. So I'm gonna be the next speaker, but before I speak, it's not gonna be a show without me showing up. So I'm gonna be the next and final speaker. But before I speak, what I will do, I'm gonna share my bio with you, and then I will come back and speak. So please enjoy.
I want you, as you think about your dreams and goals, to put this down. Rise to greater heights. Rise to greater heights, because you need to be clear about your career goals in order for you to gain guidance on professional development. Really, my goal as a mentor or as a coach, it's so simple. My goal is to study your current situation, identify limiting beliefs and other potential obstacles that you might be facing, and then design a plan of inspired action to empower you to pursue success and drive sustainable.
I think whosoever said that the sky is the limit was wrong. From today on, I, Dr. Riel and Kunene, believe that the sky is our point of view. Mom. So I think whosoever said that the sky is the limit was wrong. From today on, I, Dr. Riel and Kunene, believe that the sky is our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Rise to greater heights.
Dr. Nampumalelo Rial Kunene is an international human rights policy analyst who consults on policies and procedures related to human rights compliance. She is a highly sought-after, energetic, certified Lace Brown international speaker. This passionate leader holds a PhD with a discipline in leadership and business. Dr. Rial N. Kunene is the author and host to Rise to Greater Heights, a book and YouTube channel to turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. She is also a coach, mentor, and an MC, well known for encouraging many to rise from mediocrity into greatness. Her vision is not only to motivate, but also to empower audiences with a fresh perspective inspiration they require to pursue success and drive sustainable outcomes. In a seriously funny way, Dr. Kunene is an award-winning author, 10 times #1 Amazon and international best-selling author. Her #1 best-selling book, Rise to Greater Heights, has inspired and empowered many to pursue their personal and professional passion to become go-getters. As a trainer, diplomacy protocol officer, and strategist, Rial believes that we are in full control of our choices. Her mission is to meet the needs and transform lives of her clients and her audience. She is also a true advocate for creating new policies that uphold human rights and prevent human rights violations. Dr. Kunene's purpose is to teach everyone about human rights and help organizations understand and promote human rights. Her goal is to study your current situation, identify limiting beliefs, then design a plan of inspired action to empower you to achieve specific outcomes in your life. This change maker, trailblazer, and revolutionary is pushing boundaries and creating a real change worldwide. Like a phoenix that never accepted defeat and rose from its own ashes, she wants to challenge you to unleash your greatness and rise to greater heights. Dr. Rial N. Kunene wears many hats. As a professional certified sales manager, CEO, certified travel counselor, publisher, medical esthetician, philanthropist, and a commissioner for oaths, following her dreams gave her purpose to see her goals through and understand that she does have everything she needs to reach her full potential. Her everyday message is that your journey to be a better person starts with you. So knowing who you are to your core will make you understand that you are the only one who can accomplish your dreams. Hebrews 11, Psalms 27 and 40 keeps her to rise to greater heights. The sky is no longer the limit, but now the sky is our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Kings and queens, please join me. Welcome, Dr. Rial N. Kunene.
Oh, wow, thank you so much. Nathan, Cynthia, you've set the bar high for me. And Nathan, I remember he shared his history with narcissism. Narcissism, it affects our mental health if it's not well taken. And Cynthia, on the other side, she described everything, all the areas that we need that need to be looked more closely, and those areas that can be shifted to kind of create a dynamic that kind of better support and serve a family. So I will share my message on how to actually maintain a solid mental health. After everything, you'll have to maintain a solid mental health. Whether you're struggling emotionally or maybe someone who is, you'll have to educate yourself about mental illness, including like substance use disorders. You'll have to know the facts and educate yourself, because I believe that knowledge is power. Knowledge is one of the best ways to combat stigma. So you'll have to take each and every opportunity to get educated, or maybe share your own personal struggles with mental illness. And you may never know that you'll be saving someone's life out there. So we'll have to maintain a solid mental health and try to focus on the positive, kings and queens. Focus on the positive. What do I mean by this? I mean owning your life and refusing to allow others to dictate how you view yourself. You are the one who is experiencing whatsoever you're going through. So accept it and take action towards it, because mental illness is only part of anyone's bigger picture. So we'll have to fight stigma by choosing to live an empowered life. You really don't have to see the whole staircase to get to the top. As my mentor always say, that you don't have to be great to get started. So you'll have to get started to become great in life. So get started today. Try to be familiar about mental illness, mental disorders, so that you know for sure when you are going through that. You'll have to get the knowledge. For the fact that you are here today, it means that you are ready just to, rise to greater heights into your own mental health. You'll have to maintain that solid mental health, and you cannot change the fact that you have a mental illness if you have one. Remember that emotional health conditions are treatable, so there is no need for you to struggle in silence. And don't let the fear of being labeled with that mental illness to prevent you from seeking help. Why? I'm glad you've asked that, because at any time you spend trying to pretend it doesn't exist, it's only, draining you of your valuable energy. So speak out against stigma, speak out, stand up for mental health. We should be advocates for mental, more especially like throughout the whole pandemic, I've seen that our mental health has been challenged. So we need those advocates who will just stand up, because a huge part of your recovery is coming to grips with who you are. So don't isolate yourself, but instead consider like expressing your own opinions. Reach out to people you trust for the compassion, for the support and understanding that you need in order for you to heal from whatsoever you're going through. So it's a wake-up call, good people. It's a wake-up call, kings and queens. But when that alarm clock goes off, please, 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 don't ever hit the snooze button. Don't be like, I will wake up in the next 2 minutes. I will wake up in the next 4 minutes. You know what? forever is a long time. Why don't you wake up, get going, and maintain that solid mental health? Because every day, in every possible way, we need to stand up to stigma. More importantly, understanding like a mental illness, it paves the way for evidence-based therapies as well as treatment options. So we need to understand that depression is so real. Depression is so real. Many people, they're just going through it without us knowing. So often we think of the warning signs being the traditional way. They isolate themselves, they stop showing up at work. But the converse, it can also be true. How about those individuals who are able to, to fake it, to smile and carry on a conversation as if life is just happy, when in reality they are in their lowest possible spot. They feel like, the moment I start sharing about my situation, I'll be a burden to everyone around me, and nothing that they do, they feel like there is nothing that they do is ever going to be good enough for anyone around them. It is hard for them to open up to others about the depression that they're going through. So we'll have to fill our cup first. We can't give from an empty cup. The reason why we're here, the reason why we put this platform is that just gain the knowledge and know the science and know how to actually heal from whatsoever you're going through. Because you can't give from an empty cup, but you'll have to fill up your cup first, and then from the overflow, you're going to be able to share with the world. From the overflow, you're going to be able to heal the world with your own very humanity. So it's high time we fill up our cup first, and then from the overflow, we're going to be able to share with the whole world. So I'm going to share some, some points that you'll have to pick, like how can you actually, what to do if a loved one maybe has those hidden signs of depression. How can you assist that individual to come out, maybe to share their experience, maybe to seek help? So if a loved one maybe appears to have those signs of hidden depression, you can try like to talk with them about maybe their symptoms, and offer a non-judgmental support and advice to them. Because the moment you start judging them, they will decide to be silent. So don't judge them. Just share, tell them that I'm just here for you. I'm here to support you at any time. Whenever you need my help, I'm gonna be here. So supportive actions, it can include like encouraging the person to seek treatment, or maybe offering to accompany them for their appointments, or maybe planning like an enjoyable activities together with them. Whatsoever they enjoy doing, just plan those activities with them, or maybe go for an exercise if they like exercising together with you, or maybe just encourage them to socialize with others. Go out there. We have many events happening in our communities. Just make them to go out there and socialize with others, because you may never know, the moment you go out there, you're going to be able to share your story, and you're going to be able to heal others who are just going through the same situation that you've been through. So it's high time we just maintain that solid mental health by being that support system that others need in order for us to heal from whatsoever they are going through. That's the reason why we put a platform like this, where we can come and share our stories without judgment, and offer advice and offer support for those individuals. As flight attendants always say that, you know what, put on that oxygen mask first before you assist the person who's sitting next to you. Because if you don't, you and the other person you're trying to help, when the flight goes down, you will definitely go down. So let's put on our oxygen mask first before we help our neighbors, before we help our kids. That oxygen mask first that we're talking about here is maintaining a solid mental health. Because the reality is, your journey to be a better person, it doesn't start with your kids, it doesn't start with your spouse, it doesn't start with your neighbor, but it starts with you. So knowing who you are to your core, it will make you understand that you have everything around you to reach to your full potential. So don't ever, ever give up on your heart's desires. Just recall this, just in case you can't find a way out, that you can have the drive within you to become what you really want in life. You can have the drive within you to get where you want to be, maybe in the next 6 months. The drive is just inside of you. So I am a firm believer of affirmations. We're going to affirm this together. We're going to affirm this together by placing our left hand on our chest, and then we're going to raise our right hand. So left hand on your chest, and then you're going to raise your right hand, and you're going to affirm with me that I can have the drive within me to become what I really want in life. Can you say it one more time as if you have faith in your own powerful voice? And guess what? It will echo throughout the whole universe. Say, I can have the drive within me to become what I really want in life. Yes, you can have that drive within you. Just give yourself a round of applause because the drive is just inside of you. It's not from the outside, but it's inside of you that you can, whatsoever you put your mindset in, you can definitely achieve that. The drive is just inside of you. It's not from the outside. You can have it. You whatsoever you want to achieve in the next 6 months, you can have it as long as you don't shift your focus from that bigger goal. Because and you know it's so funny how my mom and dad gave me this beautiful beautiful name Nompumelelo. I know many when they try to say my name they always butcher my name, but Nompumelelo, really, Nompumelelo in my own language, it means mother of all success. So you can see that I am really really challenged to chase after success. No matter what comes my way, I'll have to chase after success. So if I may ask you, how many of you have dreams and goals that you want to achieve, maybe let me say in the next 6 months? I know myself, I'm one of those. I want you, as you think about your dreams and goals, to put this down. Rise to greater heights. Rise to greater heights, because you need to be clear about your career goals in order for you to gain guidance on professional development. So as a coach or as a mentor, like many of us here, my goal is so simple. My goal is to study your current situation, identify limiting beliefs and other potential obstacles that you might be facing, and then design a plan of inspired actions to empower you to achieve specific outcomes in your life. I so wish that you can just tell yourself that, you know what, all these amazing speakers, they've shared more nuggets on how you can actually maintain a solid mental health. So in order for you to go out there and be the change and make a difference within yourself, in your community, in your family, you've got to be hungry. You've got to be hungry like a hungry lion in the jungle. Really, that hungry lion in the jungle, it doesn't matter what kind of animal comes his way. It doesn't matter if you're that giant elephant or that small squirrel by the jungle. All that hungry lion sees in front of his face is lunch. And it's so funny though, because even with elephants, when they see a lion, is that they run. Elephants, they run when they see a lion. It's all about the mindset. Once you believe, you become. They already told themselves that, you know what, I'm a lunch to that lion. So each and every time when I see a lion, I'll have to run. I believe that's the lion mindset that will help us to maintain a solid mental health. Just be that lion. You know, you are not the biggest animal in the jungle, but you tell yourself that, you know what, I am a king in this jungle. We need that mindset in order for us to shift that, those negativity and maintain a solid mental health and take ownership to whatsoever we're going through, because at the end of the day, we will overcome everything that we're going through. You know, it's so funny. When I was in the eighth grade, I was nicknamed Phoenix. I was nicknamed Phoenix after writing a composition using the idiomatic expression that says, I rose from the ashes like a phoenix bird, meaning I became successful again. Really, that English teacher, she didn't know that the nickname Phoenix, it resonates with me. And it also aligns with my destiny. So for those of you who don't know the phoenix bird, the phoenix is a Greek mythological bird believed to rise from its own ashes after being buried like hundreds of years ago. This immortal creature acquires new life by rising from the ashes of its own ancestors, which represents our capacity for vision and success. I want to encourage you, if you're watching and listening under my voice today, that when your world comes crashing down, wear your scars to show how a phoenix feels like to die from inside. And trust in your own capability to rise from your own ashes. Since the phoenix has to die, burn, experience pain before resurrection from its own ashes. Please write this down in conclusion. Resilience to greatness. Resilience to greatness. And I know you've heard this before, that your setback is your setup for your comeback. Your setback is your setup for your comeback. So if I can be honest with you, I don't know what goals you've set for the next 6 months. I don't know what dreams you have for your own future. But here is one thing I know about you. You are destined for greatness. Inside of you, God has put seeds of excellence. Those seeds are supposed to grow and flourish. But many people have become crippled by their past encounters, and some have stepped over other people to get to the top. But I believe that with God, we're all destined for greatness as long as we follow his strategy. This is when the growth commences, because discovering your gifts and following God's idea, it will make you understand that you have everything around you to reach your full potential. My everyday inspiration is Les Brown. He once said, if you had to die today, at this very moment, at this hour, what dreams, what ideas, what visions, what goals, what skills, what talents, and what books will die with you? And the late Dr. Miles Monroe continued saying that the richest place on this planet is the cemetery, because that's where all the goals, all the visions, all the skills, all the talents have been buried. Honestly, I don't know about you, but with me listening to all these amazing messages, it gave me sleepless nights. And I remember it very well when I started journaling my first book, and I lost the count when I got to 10. I told myself that, you know what, I have everything around me to reach my full potential. So I decided, I was like, let me take ownership in everything that I do. So it's the same thing. This year, I'm so determined to rise to greater heights with as many motivated individuals who are maybe ready to start, grow, and scale their businesses within 90 days. Or maybe you're that individual who started writing your book, and then you decided, you know what, I'll do it later. And that time will never, ever, ever come in your life. So if you're that individual who just want to write and publish your #1 best-selling book, trust me, I offer that free, no obligation, 30 minutes friendly Zoom consultation call, which will allow me to find out more about the issues that you are experiencing, and to see if you are a perfect fit for any of my programs, because I don't just work with everyone, but I work with those individuals that I believe that they will benefit from any of my programs that I offer. So if you're interested in becoming a public speaker, maybe you are an aspiring author, coach, or maybe that entrepreneur who wants to multiply your income, but doing what you truly love and what you are really passionate about, and making a real impact out there, trust me, I just want to empower you to become highly effective and an inspiring leader with a personalized, measurable, but a scalable program. So go on my website, www.risetogreaterheights.com, and book that free consultation call. And yes, everything I do in life, it comes with a guarantee. If it doesn't work for you, trust me, 100% money back guarantee, because I believe that the same system that I've used is going to be the same system that you're going to be using. So why not? Or why is it not going to go? Because my ultimate goal at the end of the day is that you feel extremely confident about your purpose. That's my goal. So we'll take it one step at a time, and you are definitely going to transform. So if you give me your why, I'll show you the how. How cool is that? So my consultation, it offers accountability, education, growth, as well as success. And you might have to ask, why are you doing this? Why now? Really? I've been there, I've done that, and many of us have been there, we've done that, and we know how it feels like. I remember myself 5 years ago, I was completely lost in the hustle. I was exhausted, I was overwhelmed. I remember I had a ton of ideas, but there was no tried and true strategy to run with it. It was only when I invested in coaching, and then I created my first premium offer, that things started to change. And then I built an income generating business, just doing what I love and making a real impact out there. So now it's your turn to build your wealth, because the power is just inside of you. So go out there and book that free consultation call with me at www.risetogreaterheights.com. Because you know what, growing up, I didn't have much in life, because my father decided to have an early departure from this planet Earth. And I thank God that I missed that flight, because I'm still here. I'm still sharing my message. I'm still impacting as many lives as I can, because I had everything because of my mama's love. And I love you, love you, love you, love you so much, mom. So I think whosoever said that the sky is the limit was wrong. From today on, I, Dr. Riel and Bunene, believe that the sky is our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to our viewers. Thank you so much, our amazing speaker here. So Cynthia, at this moment, please feel free to share your final thoughts, share how the audience can reach out to you, share your freebie if you have any, and I'm gonna check if we have any questions being posted. So Cynthia Quinn, the stage is yours.
Thank you. And thank you for that motivational speech. And really, there's so much, so many nuggets in what you said in terms of where we need to be, and tapping into that idea of what I had talked about at the beginning of really making sure that we live out our authenticity. And that's where we're going to find our joy. And that's where we're going to find all our possibilities and opportunities. And that's how we're going to support and change the world. So as I mentioned before, our listeners can find me at www.soulalliancewellness.org. They can also find me on Instagram at cynthia.soulalignedwellness. On Instagram, they will find the post for the giveaway for the free spot in Rise into Motherhood, which will be starting in January. And they can also go onto my website to get my freebie, which is Self-Care by Design. They can also pull a free energy blueprint, human design blueprint from my website. And then once they know their energy type, they can look at the Self-Care by Design guideline that I provide, and they can look at how to tailor their self-care in a way that's going to optimize their ability to restore themselves. And on my website, I also offer my other services. I outline the Thriving Families coaching model. I also talk about EMDR, which is a trauma-based therapy. And I also will schedule discovery calls with them, so I can jump on the phone with them if they're not sure what service would be best for them. I can guide them on that or support them in any way that I can. And I will say that I truly believe that a client needs to be very aligned with their therapist. So if they call me and I am not able to serve them or provide any care for them in the way that best suits them, I will also help refer them to some of the beautiful people in my community who do a lot of this work as well. Because I believe that they need to have the best resources. We all need to have the best resources and build a community so that we're all supporting each other, right? It's again, this concept of the individual impacts the whole and the whole impacts the individual, right? So I want to take that not only from within my family, but also expands it. And that is truly, I believe, the ripple effect that is going to change the world and all our systems and how we all interact with each other, so that it's really coming from a place of love and being seen and seeing others. And that's how we can transform everything. So yeah.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Cynthia. So I believe our viewers will reach out to you. Go on www.soulalignedwellness.org to grab all those freebies to, go on your Instagram. What's your Instagram, okay?
It's cynthia.soulalignedwellness.
Cynthia.soulaligned wellness.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much, Cynthia. I believe our audience, they will definitely reach out to you because they need this. They need the person who will just hold them accountable for their actions, taking it one step at a time. We need transformation at the end of the day. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Cynthia.
Thank you for having me.
So to our audience online, oh my goodness, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. I can see Nomcebo Sharon, Lipa watching, and Princess Sebe is saying, yes, we are. Tela Goodwill watching, and Mariah Cox is saying, what a message. I can see Annalie, I can see Benoit, I can see Toby, Shengela, Katim watching. I believe our audience really, they've been inspired, they've been motivated, and they are ready to take action. So thank you to our audience. And thank you so much, Cynthia. I know we are all busy. We all have busy schedules. For you to spend the 90 minutes just to be with us here at Rise to Greater Heights Network, we really don't take it for granted. So we're saying thank you. We're honored. We're humbled. And by that message, really, I'm going to go back and watch the replay over and over again, because I believe that you've really dropped more nuggets, more especially around family wellness. So thank you so much, Cynthia.
Thank you.
To our audience online, thank you so much for joining us here at Rise to Greater Heights Network, where you can turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. I hope from all these messages, from all these amazing speakers, you've been inspired, you've been motivated, and you are ready to rise to greater heights. So do join us next week at the same time, same place. Thank you. Merci. Bonga.
Let them laugh, let them weep, let them yell, let them sing. All they wanna say. Let them lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let them laugh, let them weep, let them yell, let them sing. All they wanna say. Let them lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let I be me instead of playing games. For chasing fame, let somebody sweat the lack of flames. No, living my life to the fullest and shout out my halala to the fullest. Let my lungs out. I'm still rising up to greater heights as long as